Today, we are diving deep into a modern digital dynasty. We're talking about Eva Elfie, and her story is a fascinating case study of a new kind of entrepreneur who has built an absolute empire online. All right, let's get right into it.
Let's just start with one number. A huge number. Over 15 million. That's how many followers Eva Elfie has gathered across all of her platforms. To put that in perspective, that's an audience that puts her in the same league as some major media companies.
But this isn't just about getting followers and being famous on the internet. We're talking about a real multi-million-dollar business with estimated revenues somewhere between $2.4 and $4.5 million a year. And get this, she built the whole thing from scratch. So, that brings us to the big question, right? How on earth does a 25-year-old from a relatively small town in Siberia manage to build an international media company? Well, that's the business mystery we're going to crack open today. So to really get a handle on this, we first have to understand just how massive her online presence is. Let's take a look at the pieces of her internet empire. Okay, look at this breakdown. The really key thing here isn't just one big number, it's how spread out her audience is. She's not just a TikTok star or a YouTuber. Nope. She has 6.6 million followers on TikTok, over 1 million subscribers on YouTube for her longer vlogs, and then millions more on Instagram and X. Seriously, this is a masterclass in how to build a brand across totally different platforms. But, the numbers only tell part of the story. To really get the business, you have to understand the person behind it. And her journey is, well, it's pretty incredible. It's a story of moving from one world into a completely different one. And this slide just lays it out so clearly. Think about this for a second. You grow up in Omsk, Siberia. We're talking winters that hit a brutal minus 40 degrees. And now, she's running a global company from sunny California, the absolute center of the entertainment world. I mean, you can't get two more different worlds. It's an insane leap from an unknown teenager to an award-winning CEO. So how did this happen so fast? This timeline is pretty revealing. She kicks off her career in 2018 when she's only 18. Just 3 years later, bam, she's winning major industry awards. Then comes the big one. March 2022, she relocates to the US. And in that same year, she's not just a performer anymore. She founds her own company, the Elfie Agency. That's a lightning-fast jump from creator to CEO. All right, so we've got the scale, we've got the backstory. Now let's get into the how. What exactly is the Elfie brand, and why is it so powerful? Yeah, none of this just happened. The whole Elfie thing, that's a very calculated brand. She leans right into this fantasy persona. I mean, her Instagram bio literally says, your favorite elf. And from a marketing standpoint, it's brilliant, right? It's this perfect mix of a unique fantasy character with that super accessible girl next door vibe. It makes the brand feel special, but also, relatable. And that brand is built on these 4 key pillars. First, the natural look. No tattoos, no piercings. It really sets her apart and pushes that girl next door image. Second, she's deep in gamer culture, and it's authentic, not just for show. She's even an ambassador for an esports brand. Third, she makes herself relatable by sharing stuff like cooking and working out. And maybe the most telling piece of the puzzle, that award she won in 2022. It was for most popular female performer by women. That is huge. It shows her brand appeal just smashes through the typical demographic lines. Okay, so we've got the brand. Now let's pop the hood and look at the actual business engine that's driving all this. Because when you really break down her career, you start to see that her biggest, smartest move, it had nothing to do with what she did on camera. It was the move she made in the boardroom. The decision to stop being just a performer and to become an owner, a CEO. That's the real game changer here. And this is what that decision looks like in practice. Look at all these roles. Sure, content creator is her main gig, but she's also the founder and CEO of her own agency. She's got a merch line, she's a brand ambassador for big companies, and she's actively building this mainstream personality with vlogs and lifestyle content. She's building a whole portfolio, not just a social media profile. And this pie chart breaks down the revenue. Now yeah, the huge slice, 75%, comes from subscription platforms. No surprise there. But look at the other pieces. 10% from brand partnerships, 8% from her own agency, 5% from merch. Every one of those smaller slices is a strategic move away from being just a creator and a step towards being a full-blown diversified media company.
So how does she make that 75% slice so big? It's a brilliant two-step funnel. Step 1, the free page. This is where she casts a super wide net, right? She puts out teasers, engages with the community, and just gets a massive number of people in the door. That's the top of the funnel. Then step 2, the VIP page. This is where she converts the real fans into paying subscribers for about $10 a month by giving them exclusive access. It's a simple and incredibly effective model. Attract everyone, then sell the premium experience to your most dedicated followers.
So when you put all these pieces together, what do you get? Well, what we're looking at is a potential blueprint for a whole new kind of CEO in the creator economy. And I think this quote just nails it. She controls her image and income. She's building a business empire, not just performing. It's all about that shift in mindset, right? It's about ownership, long-term thinking, and building something that lasts. And really, that's the key takeaway here. This is the story of an evolution, from a solo performer, totally dependent on other people's platforms, to the CEO of her own diversified business, one that controls its own destiny. And all of this leaves us with a really big, thought-provoking question for the future. Is this the new model? Can a single person with a powerful brand and a sharp business mind build an entire media corporation from the ground up on their own terms? Looking at the Elfie empire, well, it suggests the answer might just be yes, and that could be the blueprint for a whole new generation of entrepreneurs.